Hey, what's up everybody? Just chilling here on the stairs. Just thought I'd make a little video for a change instead of just pictures. Just about downtown Cullman. Gonna walk through and go over to the public library for a little bit before I head out to the highway. It's been a kind of sucky couple days. Feeling under the weather. Issues. But I'm handling it, and they come up from time to time and I just deal with it. Anyway, hey, I just wanted to address a few things. I have a lot of people, since my followers, I've gone up to like 1,077, which is just amazing, and a lot of people don't know me, a lot of people don't know a lot about this trip, so I wanted to just, I've been getting a lot of questions, so I thought I'd answer a few of them anyway. Obviously, the number one question as to what this trip is about is why, and it's very complicated, but it goes way back. I don't know, y'all's situation. Each of you have your own unique life circumstances and whatnot. When I was young, a long time ago, 40 years ago, we didn't have computers, so we used to read a lot, or I did anyway. I used to read books and magazines, everything I could absorb to get information. And one of the magazines that I liked to read was Reader's Digest. They always had good articles. A lot of times it was crappy articles, but they usually had at least one good, inspiring kind of article. And I remember it distinctly. I can still remember the fella's face, but I don't know his name. He walked from the east central coast of the United States to California. And Reader's Digest, they'd have 8 to 10 pages maybe, maximum, and 3 or 4 good pictures. But I just remember the picture of him at the Pacific Ocean, young fellow with his hands up in the air, and he wasn't that much older than I was. And I used to be easily influenced by pictures. Pictures of people. I love reading people's stories, what they do and how they accomplish things. And this fella, he just he did it. I don't remember all the details, but throughout the article, he talked about the kindness, the good things, and a few of the bad things. But it mostly was this self-accomplishment, something that I hadn't really experienced. I think it was about the time that I was going into the military, or I might have already been in and been on leave. I honestly don't remember. But I wanted that sense of accomplishment that he felt. So that seed was planted. I never really planned on it. It was just another thing that I thought about doing and never did. And then every decade or so, I'd revisit that idea in my head. I like reading stories about people who leave little towns, Peoria or Podunk, Arkansas or whatever, with $50 in their pocket. They go to LA and they become this, that, or the other. Go to New York with $18 in their pocket. They stay in some trashy motel, wash dishes, and become something. And those type of stories always inspire me. So jump all these years forward, about 8 months ago, just circumstances at home, the way that I was living and whatnot, very minimalist way of life. All my energy was into my daughter, who I miss and I love very much, and the grandkids. And that was really the only purpose I had in life. And she's handling it on her own, and she's got a great husband, my son-in-law, who I love like my own boy. And honestly, they don't need me. So I revisited this idea, and I started looking on the internet, and there's a few YouTube videos about people who are starting up or gonna do it, but they never follow through, and a few ne'er-do-wells who've made videos claiming to be walking across the country. But in the comment sections of these videos, there were several people who claimed to have done it. So I emailed several of them, and I ended up getting in touch with 2 of them. and I quizzed and did this, and I mean, I can be taken in, but I think I have a pretty good perception of what's honest and what's not. And at least one of them, I'm pretty sure, has done it, because the advice he was giving me wasn't the mundane, obvious advice. He was giving me little bits and pieces that I'm finding out, being on the road, he must have known what he was talking about. So I started talking to these fellas, and I started thinking about it, and I just wanted to do it. I mean, I'm 59 years old. I know a lot of people my age are getting knee surgeries, hip surgeries, and a lot of unnecessary surgeries. And hang on, guys, I got a big truck coming by. Big log truck. So anyway, I figured now is the time to do it. You know, you never know what's going to happen. I could break my leg and never be able to walk again. So I told my daughter first, and she was like, "Dad, you got to do it. This is so you." And my brothers, you know, they're supporting me in their own funny way. My brother Harry's the best support. He's intelligent, pragmatic, logical, and I can always go to him for advice. And even if I don't like the advice, at least I know the advice he's given me is real. So I got him. My older brother, he's a ex-military, ex-war veteran, and a little messed up in the head, but I think if it came down to it, he'd come out and rescue me if I needed to. But anyway, so I started planning, and when I say planning, it really wasn't much of a plan. It was just get a few supplies together, keep it very minimalist, let go of everything I have back in Florida, and head out. So that's what I did, and you guys have seen it. So the why is really just to accomplish something, and then you start getting into all the little weird things. Like I have a lot of philosophies that I don't usually share with people, and part of me wanted to verify those philosophies. Part of me wanted to prove a lot of those philosophies wrong. And as I get farther west, I'll probably open up more about that. And if there's ever a book, which there should be, then it'll be in length. So that's the why. I mean, why does anybody do anything? I jumped out of an airplane 5 years ago with a parachute on my back and a little French guy strapped to my ass. So why did I do that? I mean, 14,500 feet. I'm not a thrill seeker, so it was just something I wanted to do my whole life, and my older brother paid for it and coaxed me, so I finally did it. And there was that sense of self-accomplishment for a couple of weeks at least. Time frame. A lot of people are asking me about that. I get emails, some posts and things like that. And out on the road, a lot of people, you know, well, what's your time limit? I don't have one. Most everybody that I've read that has done this has done it in 9 months, less than a year. Some people have done extraordinary things. There's people who have run it in 56 days. I'm not doing that. I just wanted to see the country and make it from one end to the other. So it's been 100 and something days now, and I'm barely out of Alabama. So, you know, I'm looking at a year. I'd like to get into Arizona about the spring, about the thaw. And if I get out there, I can play with my snakes and probably spend a lot of time. And from Arizona, it's just a zip out to Santa Monica. And then from there, who knows? But time limit, there really isn't a time limit. So this is something that's going to be going on. I have no intentions of quitting or going home. I have no intentions of staying in California. California doesn't have any real, I have no link or any draw to California. The only reason I say California is because that's where the Pacific Ocean, that's where the other side is. If it was at Missouri, I'd go to Missouri. I have skill sets that I can use that I'm not really using right now. You know, I can camp. I know how to survive. Right now, the tent is just shelter for the night. I haven't done any real camping. I haven't lit a fire. I know how to start a fire without matches or without anything, and I tested that in Georgia just to make sure that I could still do it. I go out in the woods in Florida, some of the rugged terrain with no water. Of course, I'm not carrying around a 45-pound backpack either. But I drink out of canals, drink out of lakes, and I don't get sick. I know how to start fires. I can catch fish. I know how to clean and cook a fish. I can kill a rabbit. I can eat a rabbit. I know a dozen nutritious plants that I can eat all year round. I know how to defend myself. I'm not afraid of animals, which is probably stupid, especially up here as you get farther north and farther west, but I'm fascinated by animals and have been my whole life. I know a lot more than I let on. I've trained animals professionally. I know how exotic animals. I worked for a veterinarian for 3 years who handled exotic animals. I've handled leopards, bears, jaguars, monkeys, God help me, monkeys, and all sorts of animals. So I mean, I know how to handle animals, and I know how to handle wild things. So even though I'm clinging to highways and keeping it simple right now, when I get farther out west, and all those camping and survival skills will come in, and you'll be part of it, I promise. And hopefully we'll have a few, at least a couple close encounters with real animals that we can enjoy. But anyway, library's right up the street, so I just wanted to start doing these types of videos, little heart-to-heart things. I think they're more interesting than me sitting on the side of the road going, hey, it's 12 miles to the next town. And maybe you guys can get to know me a little bit better. I've been keeping it pretty lighthearted, keeping my personality guarded. But what the heck, man? I got all you people dedicating your time and effort to follow me, so you might as well at least know who I am and what's going on. So hopefully I can start revealing some of that in my videos. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close now and go up the stairs the other side and walk around downtown and hit the library up, and then head out to the highway. And thanks everybody for hanging in there and coming along for the ride. Talk to you later.